retirement, and you can learn all about it in a free report. This is the report Wall Street and big banks desperately hope you never see. Why? Because this method continues to grow your money even when the market tumbles. It lets you take back control of your money and finances, and it gives you penalty-free access to your savings. Plus, it beats the pants off any 401k or IRA. These are uncertain times, so get the information you need today to guarantee your retirement security. To get this free report, go to bankonyourself.com right now. That's bankonyourself.com. Bankonyourself.com.
If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, please call this toll-free number right now. 800-390-9528. That's 800-390-9528. By calling your addiction team, you're taking the first steps to recovery. The help you need could be one call away. 800-390-9528. Make the free call now. 800-390-9528. Your addiction team is a third-party advertiser for various treatment centers and placement networks. Individual results will vary. Visit youraddictionteam.com/terms for more information.
Non-attorney spokesperson. Ad sponsored by Open Jar Concepts. Attention veterans and active duty military. If you were issued earplugs between 2002 and 2016 and were diagnosed with hearing loss or ringing in the ears, you may be entitled to compensation. The manufacturer of these military earplugs recently paid $9.1 million to resolve claims that their earplugs were defective, potentially exposing service members to damaging sound levels that could have resulted in hearing loss or tinnitus. If you or a loved one were issued earplugs and were diagnosed with tinnitus or hearing loss, don't wait. You fought for this country, and our attorneys want to fight for you. Call 800-664-6981 now for a free legal consultation and to see if you may be eligible to file a claim. Time restrictions may apply, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. So call 800-664-6981 now. Again, 800-664-6981. That's 800-664-6981.
The following program, the Rewind Sports 60, is sponsored by Jerry Riles and, to the extent applicable, his guests. The views and opinions expressed therein do not necessarily reflect those of NewsWeb Radio Company or its management.
Rewind Sports
60. From the city of big shoulders, the jewel of the Midwest, comes a sports show that's one of a kind. From iconic players to iconic stadiums to iconic teams, this is my kind of town. Chicago! And the Rewind Sports 60 is my kind of show. From Air Jordan to Sweetness to Papa Bear Hallis, this city works hard, but plays even harder. Danny Carlino and Jerry Riles bring you the Rewind Sports 60. Live. The Rewind Sports 60 starts now.
It starts now, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Rewind Sports 60. We're streaming live on Facebook Live, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Rewind Sports 60 on a beautiful, beautiful Sunday afternoon from the studios of WCPT 820 AM in the beautiful city of Chicago. The Rewind Sports 60, yours truly, Jerry Riles. And, of course, the man on the street. He's in studio. He's Marty-B. What's up, Marty?
Good afternoon, Jerry, and sports fans everywhere. And a special hello to a lovely, lovely lady, Ms. Leola Bowling from Lisle, Illinois. I know you're with us today. Look forward to a call this week. Enjoy the show.
Leola, thank you for being a fan. We appreciate it. And I know many of you around the Chicagoland area are watching the Chicago Bears. Keep the volume down, and keep our volume up. WCPT 820 AM. It's under 3 minutes left in the ball game, and the Chicago Bears are leading the Denver Broncos and Vic Fangio by a score of 13-6. Joe Flacco and the offense of the Broncos were driving downfield in the red zone, inside the 5-yard line, and Joe Flacco dropped back to throw a pass to the right flat, and he overthrew his receiver. And Mr. number 23 for the Chicago Bears, Kyle Fuller, came up with the INT, the turnover, which really, really was needed for this Bears defense and this Bears football team, because I can tell you all the talk all week long was about the atmosphere up in the Denver Mile High Stadium in the thin air, and you can believe the Bears defense started breaking down. Joe Flacco on that offense of Denver, they were dissecting that Bears defense, that vaunted Bear defense. And luckily for Matt Nagy, Joe Flacco, being who he is, Joe Flacco overthrew his receiver. Kyle Fuller came up with the good hands, the INT, and it ended that threat of the Denver Broncos attempting to tie up the football game 13-13. But right now it's under 3 minutes left in the ball game, folks. Keep it locked in to WCPT 820 AM. Yours truly, Jerry Riles. Of course, the man on the street, Marty-B. And this guy, he just came from Wrigley Field. Man, his arms are probably tired because he's swinging a big stick over there. Well, maybe not, but maybe he was nursing Anthony Rizzo's ankle. We'll get a chance to talk about that. But, ladies and gentlemen, he's the one. He's the only. He's the marvelous one. What's up, Denny?
Yeah, 16-6. It was a long game, so I just got here. But the Bears need to hang on. I thought that Denver was going to tie it, but we got that interception in the red zone, so it's looking a little bit better now. Well, Denver has the ball.
It's not looking. We still got 2:48 going this ball game, and Matt Nagy is calling these offensive plays, and the defense. Again, of the Chicago Bears are definitely, as they say, sucking up wind because Vic Fangio and Joe Flacco, they're definitely trying to keep the Bears defense on that football field and keeping them off balance. But you got to say, Khalil Mack has played exceptionally well as far as this game is concerned, with the exception of the atmosphere. But the offense of Denver continues to move the ball down the field. Marvelous one, Marty-B. It looks like the Denver Broncos might tie this thing up, and it may come down to the leg of our good friend, Eddy Pineiro. Eddy Pineiro. And we want to say thank you to Eddy Pineiro and his dad, Eddy Pineiro Sr., for joining us again at Serenello's Restaurant there at Italiano in Wheeling this past Tuesday for the meet and greet. What a fantastic individual he is, and so much confidence in himself. And he respects the coaching staff of Matt Nagy. And he just does whatever he's expected to do, but he certainly believed in that Green Bay Packer game that he would have been able to kick that 51-yard field goal. And I believe if he gets the opportunity today, he's 3 for 3 thus far in the season. But if he gets an opportunity in this game against the Denver Broncos, I'm certainly he's going to split the uprights, and I think he's going to be the decision maker in this football game.
I talked to Eddie. He said he's never kicked a field goal where it hit the goalpost twice, so that was good. And also his father was an amazing story. He was a Cuban refugee at age 8. Did you hear his story?
Oh, I didn't hear that. I didn't know that.
At age 8 on one of the boats. So, and he became a soccer player, professional with Fort Lauderdale. So the father has a real good backstory too.
Yeah, I knew he was a professional soccer player, but I didn't know he was a Cuban refugee.
Yeah, right.
I did not know that. Marty-B?
Yes, I didn't know it either. And I had a very in-depth conversation with his dad last week over at Serenello's.
Yeah, very, very fine family, and they're humble and down to earth. And this kid, they said prior to this game against the Denver Broncos, they go out and test the field, and he goes out and kicks the field, goals from both ends of the field, in preparation for the game. It's estimated that he's kicked about a 61-yarder, maybe a 63-yarder in pregame warm-up today. So if the Bears need him, and Matt Nagy, if you need him, let the kid get out there and kick.
I looked at the YouTube video of his 81-yard kick at Florida.
Oh,
that's amazing.
yeah.
I thought it was in a game. It was like a practice kick.
No. It was practice. But the fact that he kicked an 81-yard field goal, I got to tell you, our Bears Sunday Live broadcast, the fastest hour in sports conversation right here at WCPT 820 AM. Want you to be a part of it. Our number is 773-763. 9278 773 763 WCPT. We got to say hello to our friends at Gale Street Inn, George and his fantastic staff, and Jeff, the chef over there. Gale Street Inn, Chicago, is located in Jefferson Park on the city's north side. It's a casual dining spot with a pub vibe, serving up craft brews, signature ribs, and other American fare since 1963. Head on over to Gale Street Inn every Saturday and Sunday for lunch. Enjoy a juicy burger or try one of their delicious Bloody Marys. You need a place to watch the big game on Monday nights? Well, come on out for Gale Street Inn's Monday Night Rib Special. Enjoy a huge whole rack of their mouth-watering baby back ribs for only $22 with the purchase of any beverage. Party at your place like we did at WCPT 820 AM for our pregame? Let Gale Street Inn bring the food. Visit their catering menu at GaleStreetInn.com. That's GaleStreet.com. Gale Street Inn, Chicago, located at 4914 North Milwaukee Avenue. That's, of course, in Jefferson Park, just down the street from our studios here. Open every day till 10 p.m., 9 p.m. on Sundays. They're closed on Tuesdays. Give George and his entire team, of course, Jeff, the chef, Give them a call at 773-725-1300 and tell them, well, the Rewind Sports 60 sent you. Delicious grub that they sent us. The jambalaya.
Jambalaya,
yeah. The crab cakes, the pulled pork sandwiches, the salmon. They even cheesecake. They even added dessert with the cheesecake. So thank you, George, and the entire staff over at Gale Street Inn, located in Jefferson Park. Make sure you get on over there. But as far as this Bear team is concerned, I don't know how much you heard. I don't know how much you were able to watch the Marvelous One, but what were you able to gather from this football game?
It's a defensive struggle like the Packers game, really, where everything is hard to get. And the Bears are going to be winning on defense this year, I would say, it seems, because the offense isn't really explosive.
Right now it's going to have to come down to the defense. 2-minute warning. Bears are still up 13-6, but Denver is in Bears territory. And they're driving. They've
33.
Yeah, they're at the 33-yard line. So the Bears are going to have to get a stop here, or force a turnover. Otherwise, we could be looking at a tie game here.
Yeah.
And it may have to come down to Pineiro making a long kick.
Right.
But that's what's pretty much what's going on right now. And of course, Gale Street Inn, love the jambalaya. Thank you very much for the food. Good job over there. And of course, I'll have that more on the Bears and other goings on in my update at 6:30.
That's Gabe Salgado. What do we call him? El Mago! Gabe Salgado with our TRS60 updates at the bottom and, of course, the top of the hour before we're out of here.
Like I say, Mitch isn't explosive. 14 of 22 for 90 yards passing. I mean, they got to do better than that.
Yeah, they certainly have to do that. We're going to take a short time out. Come on back. If you want to join us for our Bear conversation, Bears Sunday Live, give us a ring. Our number is 773-763-9278, 773-763-WCPT. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Rewind Sports 60. Lock it in.
It's the end of the quarter. Time for a break in the action. The hottest sports panel in Chicago will get back to the fast-paced action, streaming live on Facebook Live. We're back at it after this quick timeout. So don't you dare touch that iPhone, Android, iPad, Mac, or PC. Lock it in.
The Rewind Sports 60 is brought to you by the Liquor Barn, located in Wheeling and Niles. Stop by 287 East Dundee Road in Wheeling or 8170 Gulf Road in Niles for all your wine and spirits needs. The Liquor Barn, located in Wheeling and Niles. And remember, tell Marcel and Tom in Wheeling that the Rewind Sports 60 told you to stop in and say hello. Mention the Rewind Sports 60 and receive a free gift.
Go, Ella!
Way to hustle, Jan.
Our daughters live for sports.
Hey, their dentist told them your smallest piece of equipment may be your most important.
Now they always wear mouth guards.
Yeah, mouth guards help protect against broken teeth, head injuries too, like concussions.
All from a little mouth guard.
They're small, but mighty.
Just like our kids.
Talk to a Chicago Dental Society dentist. Visit cds.org/mouthguard. Sponsored by the Chicago Dental Society, aired in cooperation with this station.
The Rewind Sports 60 is brought to you by Serenello's Ristorante Italiano. Inspired by his travels and passion for Italy's culture, executive chef Michael Bonner has created a broad menu of Italian fare, utilizing the freshest ingredients to create the fullest flavors to bring homemade, handcrafted pizzas and pastas, as well as prime steaks and fresh fish dishes to the table. Feel the energy while dining in a casual and rustic setting. Dine at natural reclaimed wood tables surrounded by inviting darker woods, exposed brick beams, subtle filament lighting, and accented with muted chocolate and caramel tones throughout. An impressive 50-foot bar lines an entire wall with seating for all. The perfect place to relax, eat, and drink with their family and friends. Serenello's Ristorante Italiano is located at 601 North Milwaukee Avenue in Wheeling. Tell them the Rewind Sports 60 told you to stop by.
Hi, I'm Liz Nicholson Sullivan. As the wife of a 9-year NFL veteran suffering the long-term effects of untreated and undiagnosed head injuries, I know how dangerous concussions can be. The Concussion Legacy Foundation is a nonprofit dedicated to keeping kids safe in sports. Their Team Up, Speak Up program teaches kids to speak up to a coach or athletic trainer if they think their teammate might have a concussion. Whether you're a parent, coach, or athlete, you can make a difference. Join me and sign up at teamupspeakup.org.
The Rewind Sports 60 is sponsored by Bazaar World. Stop by Bazaar World in Niles, celebrating their grand opening with a huge sale. Hats, gloves, belts, rings, bracelets, necklaces, and much, much more. The largest jewelry and accessory store in the Chicagoland area. Bazaar World, located at 8526 West Gulf Road in Niles, near the corner of Milwaukee and Gulf. Bazaar World in Niles. Stop in and say hello to Alex. Mention the Rewind Sports 60 and receive a free gift.
If it's Chicago sports you want, you're in the right place.
Hello, Chicago!
The Rewind Sports 60.
That's the best in the city of Chicago.
Welcome back to the Rewind Sports 60 live with the best sports panel in Chicago. Lock it in.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Rewind Sports 60. Make sure you lock it in. Keep it locked every Sunday. Bears Sunday Live right here at WCPT 820 AM. The best station, the best city, the best damn sports show in the city of Chicago. Yours truly, Jerry Riles, the marvelous one, Dan Marver, and of course the man on the street, Marty-B. The Bears are trailing the Denver Broncos by a score of 13-6, and the Broncos are threatening in the red zone against the Chicago Bears and Matt Nagy's team up at Mile High Stadium in Denver. This one is the nail biters. Keep it locked in to the Rewind Sports 60. You can continue to watch the game if you so choose. So, and I suggest you choose to watch the football game, okay? But keep it locked in. Let's go out to our phone lines. Our guy from Vegas, TRS60 West, Kelly Lee Williams. What's up, Kelly Lee Williams?
My brother Jerry Riles, Dan Marver, Marty-B, Gabe Salgado. What is up, my friend?
The Bears are down. Well, they're up right now, but it's a possibility they could be tied up in a few minutes.
It's fourth down now.
Dude, I don't have the TV game, but I'm watching it on the app right now. I am watching it. It's 1:02 to go, and
no play-by-play, buddy. No play-by-play, but just give us the Yeah,
I'll give you the reason the Bears might, or if they should have won this game more.
First down,
but
7-yard line.
There's a problem, Jerry. There's a problem with Matt Nagy. We have now seen something we really haven't seen last year. This man doesn't know how to finish a game. He does not know how to finish a game because with that interception that the Bears defense got, when the Bears got the ball, it was 5 plays for 1 minute and 57. An offensive guru should have been able to keep that ball for the rest of the game and take a knee, win game easy. But no, the Denver offense got back the ball, and now you see what's happening with Joe Flacco marching down the field and possibly getting up. So Mitch Trubisky. This isn't Mitch Trubisky's fault. We all know what Mitch Trubisky is now. This is the head coach's fault. This falls all on Matt Nagy and his play calling.
Well, it's first and goal at the Bears 7. The Denver Broncos with the ball, 11 plays, 55 yards with a drive of 1 minute and 46 seconds thus far. And we just get the word from Devin Tingle, our producer, said the Denver Broncos have just scored a touchdown, and pending a extra point, we'll tie this thing up at 13 apiece with 1:02 to go in the football game. And Kelly Lee Williams, I got to agree with you that Matt Nagy is he should be the fall guy, and he will be the fall guy. If the Chicago Bears do not win this football game, and even if they do win this football game, fans around the Chicagoland area still will not be happy or satisfied with this coaching staff, with the play calling of Matt Nagy. Again, you're right. Mitchell Trubisky, he simply just managed this football game. He did what his coaches asked him to do, just put the ball in the receiver's hands, put the ball in the running back hands, and get himself out of the way. He had to scramble and run every now and then to keep a drive alive. But as far as the play calling is concerned and the decision-making in this football game, win or lose, you got to point the finger at Matt Nagy.
Remember Tropic Thunder? Remember when there's a line there, you don't go full blank? Matt Nagy went full Matt Nagy in fourth quarter because he forgot about David Montgomery. He forgot about the running game in the final Bears possession. You don't go full Matt Nagy. He had Mitch Trubisky throw the ball twice in that one, and that stopped the clock twice, and Denver only had to use one timeout, the last timeout they had, and that gave them plenty of time after the punt for Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, the reject of the Ravens, to go down and march against the Bears, who was supposed to be a top 5 defense. Jerry, does this look like a top 5 defense to you, bro?
Well, you know what? Today they didn't look like a top 5 defense, no question about it. The Denver Broncos with a 12-play drive, 62 yards for 2 minutes and 17 seconds. And, again, pending the extra point, it should be tied 13-13 with 31 seconds They're going to go for 2, I understand. Devin, thank you so very much for updating on us on that. Keep me posted as far as, because, hey, Vic Fangio say, you know what? We're going for the win. We're not going to let your kicker, Eddy Pineiro, win it in our house. We're going for the 2-point conversion.
He's smart. Vic Fangio knows that if the kicker can do that. And you know what? Win or lose, one way or the other. The Broncos are in a rebuilding mode anyway. That's why Joe Flacco's the quarterback. This falls all upon Matt Nagy and the supposedly Super Bowl contending Chicago Bears. If they're going to contend this year, they cannot play like this. Imagine what they do against the Vikings or against the Packers when they play them again. They can't act like this against that, because if they do, they're going to get killed. The Broncos they're not a good team. They're not. Or else, it's obvious. And the Bears should be doing much better. They're not. That's Matt Nagy.
Well, you know what? I understand Devin with the update, giving me the update. Well, so what we do understand is that there was a delay of game penalty called against the Denver Broncos on the attempt for a 2-point conversion. They elect to go for the extra point by kicking, and it was missed, but there is a penalty, I understand.
Offside.
I'm sorry?
I'm just thinking it's probably offside. I mean, that's how the Bears are going right now.
I understand it's offside against the Bears.
Oh, boy. So maybe they'll go back for 2 again.
Yeah, baby. Uh-oh. Get ready, guys. We're not going to see the year that we were expecting. This is going to be a real interesting year now.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah.
So the Denver Broncos, Marver, listen, you just said it. They're going to go for 2 with that penalty against the Chicago Bears, and this could be the game right here.
Yeah, we were talking about Super Bowl. Now we're talking about survival.
Yes, and Sports Illustrated had it, but they had the prediction that the Bears are going to be 7-9 into this season, and we're not going to make it to the playoffs. And so maybe they knew something that a lot of us didn't know. But after looking over the schedule, the 2-point conversion is good. It's 14 to 13,
Yep.
31 seconds left. 31 seconds left. They made
You
the 2
could also blame the defense on this one too, because they can't stop Denver from moving the ball downfield.
Yeah, I mean, Flacco's.
So as much as we want to blame Matt Nagy for his play calling, you got to poke the finger at the defense on this one too.
Yeah,
Well,
Great. Yes, I agree with you, Gabe, but you have to poke the finger at Matt Nagy. Why? Because a minute and 57 seconds. The defense made that stop. They made the stop they needed to. They got the interception, but they only had a minute and 57 seconds to catch their breath in the mile-high era. I mean, in the air. They were gassed. Nagy should have ran the offense. They should not have turned that ball over. The game should have been over in the Bears' hands. This is on Nagy.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is on him. He's a second-year head coach, and he said that, as an assistant coach and being in the league for as long as he's been in the league, he's been up to Denver and Mile High Stadium, and he's aware of the conditions. So he sounded like he was familiar with how to handle the situation, but unfortunately and definitely you saw in the third quarter and, of course, in the fourth quarter how gassed this Bears defense was. So give credit to Vic Fangio and the Denver Broncos for the game plan that they put together, because they knew as long as we had our game plan and attacking the Bears in the first half, and then we really opened up our playbook in the second half and really started ramming it down their throats and keeping them off balance and keeping them on the back of their heels, they knew that they were going to have the Bears defense gas. And so that's why they were able to move up and down the field and drive down the field the way that they were, because they're accustomed to the elements. The Bears team, they weren't. So give credit to Vic Fangio for the game plan. And Kelly, I got to agree with you. You got to give a little bit of smack at Matt Nagy and say, hey, man, you didn't prepare this football team. And I know a lot of Bear fans are upset and pissed off regardless if the Bears win, lose, or draw. But Matt Nagy, I'm tired of listening to him. This guy in the pregame says, hey, you know what? We've had a great week of practice. We have 10 days. Oh, it still hurt us from that Green Bay Packer game, but our guys practice well. We're ready. We're prepared. That's the same thing he said for leading into the Green Bay Packer game. Hey, we practiced for 30 days straight. We practiced a game plan to take on these Green Bay Packers, and then you look what happened. So I'm tired of hearing Matt Nagy talk about we're practicing and we're practicing well, and the guys are hitting each other, and I'm tired of that. Show the results on the frickin' football field.
Kelly and Jerry.
Show the results on the field.
I was going to tell you, Flacco may be a cast-off, but he has 300 yards passing today. He's 35 of 50 for 292.
35 of 50 for 292.
So, against their vaunted defense.
Yeah, I mean, you have to prepare your team for whatever element, regardless if the atmosphere is there. And I get it. It's tough to play there. The record for the Denver Broncos in the month of September leading into this football game was 12-0, 12 wins against no losses, with opponents going over to Denver playing at Mile High Stadium. It's tough as hell to play there. But if you're talking about being a contender for the Super Bowl, and if you go 0-2, according to the numbers, teams that have gone 0-2 to start the season, they haven't gone to the Super Bowl, let alone the playoffs. So the Bears lose this thing. It's. I know it's tough, but you gotta play the games. And you gotta prepare your players.
0-2 in record and 0-1 in the division with a Packer team with Aaron Rodgers now catching fire and getting along with Matt LaFleur, with a Vikings team that has its quarterback clicking. And that's not good at all. None of this is good for the Bears. And right now, their kicker, Eddy Pineiro, is the team leader in points with 9. And second is Montgomery with 6. Not doing it good. Not good enough, buddy.
Well,
not good enough.
And the Packers beat the Vikings today.
Yeah, and you know what? Aaron Rodgers, after that poor performance against the Bears on Thursday night to open up the season, he said, hey, you know what, Coach? I know I screwed up. I know I messed up. I will be better. And I think he started the game earlier today 5 for 5. He was on target. He was throwing the ball on the rope. So that tells you the difference, obviously, between quarterbacks of who we have and who they have, and what a winning quarterback looks like and what a struggling quarterback looks like. And I don't want to beat up and pile up on Mitchell Trubisky, because he didn't ask for this. They just gave it to him. They gave it to him.
Yep.
Take it.
They said, hey, Mitchell, why don't you North Carolina, 13 games? No problem. 1 year? No problem.
Yeah.
Come on over and start for the vaunted Chicago Bears, buddy. You don't have to have great experience in college. Trust me, we have Matt Nagy. And if we have anything to fall back on, it's Chase Daniel. Yeah, baby. Chase Daniel. Make sure the Chicago Bears gets to the playoffs. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, I didn't know Chase Daniel was going to make an appearance on the Rewind Sports 60.
Always does with Kelly.
But he does with Kelly. Hey, Kelly Lee Williams, hang on. We're going to take a short time out. We got a TRS60 update coming up with El Mago, Gabe Salgado, the Marty-B, the man on the street, the marvelous one, Dan Marver, yours truly. This is the Rewind Sports 60, our Bears Sunday Live conversation. The Bears on the brink of dropping to 0-2 for this 2019 football season. They're trailing the Denver Broncos by a score of 14-13. Gabe Salgado with all the update. Gabe Salgado, TR60 update. Take it away, buddy.
TRS60 Sports Update.
Sponsored by the Monster Education Foundation, the Bears trail by 1 point. They're on literally their last play of the game. It's 4th down. Okay, there we go. 14-13, they lose to the Denver Broncos. 2 field goals from Eddy Pineiro, a touchdown run from rookie running back David Montgomery. But it wasn't enough, as the Bears didn't do enough on offense, and the defense couldn't hold it down in the end. So the Bears now dropped to 0-2 on the season. Also in progress right now, the White Sox, they were trailing the Seattle Mariners 5-0, came back to score 10 runs. And Seattle right now has just cut the lead to 1, however, but they still trail White Sox with a 10-9 lead in the bottom of the 8th. We'll keep you updated on that. The Cubs got both good news and bad news today. The good news is that they defeated the Pittsburgh Pirates 16-6, another big win there. They get the 3-game sweep in which they outscored the Pirates 47-15. But the bad news is that they lost first baseman Anthony Rizzo to another injury. Rizzo badly sprained his ankle while fielding a bunt in the 3rd inning. X-rays were negative, but Rizzo will get an MRI for further testing. The Cubs hope to get him back soon, as they trail the St. Louis Cardinals by just 2 games in the National League Central Division, and they hold on to the second wildcard spot in the National League by just 1 game. The Blackhawks officially kicked off the start of the 2019 preseason today. They held their annual training camp festival at the United Center earlier today, which featured a team scrimmage. There were only a few empty seats at the UC as...
Eddie, hey, Gabe. Eddy Pineiro just kicked the game-winning field goal. The Chicago Bears, with seconds left on the clock, defeat the Denver Broncos by a score of 16-14. Gabe, you gotta look. Okay. You gotta get your computer together. The Chicago Bears just come away with the victory, 16-14, on an Eddy Pineiro field goal. How long was it, Marvelous? How long was it?
53 yards.
A 53-yarder, Eddy Pineiro. There he is. That's our guy, ladies and gentlemen.
Who are we going to have this
That's
Tuesday?
That's our guy, Eddy Pineiro.
Well, there you have it.
16 to 14.
This is what happens when you don't have a TV in your studio. But in any event, the Blackhawks again held their preseason training camp festival today at the United Center. It's almost a sellout, and Blackhawks head coach Jeremy Colleton was thankful for the fan support today.
Yeah, it's means a lot. You know, it shows people care, and for the players, it's I know they really appreciate it. Just to have a game-like atmosphere, and you know, it's a scrimmage basically, right? And it shows how much people care about the team. So grateful for that, no question.
The Blackhawks open up the 2019 preseason tomorrow night when they hit the road to play the Washington Capitals. This update is sponsored by the Monster Education Foundation. MEF, empower the next generation of leaders. And don't forget to sign up for the MEF banquet in November. Go to monstereducationfoundation.org to learn more. I am Gabe Salgado for the Rewind Sports 60 and WCPT 820. Chicago Bears win.
And Montgomery. Touchdown! Play action for Flacco getting the pass rush, and down he goes, and it's Khalil Mack with the sack. He had none last week, but was a presence up front for other people, gets his first sack of the year.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Rewind Sports 60. Yours truly, Jerry Riles, the marvelous one, Dan Marver, the man on the street, Marty-B, and of course, El Mago, Gabe Salgado. We got to get Gabe a computer and a television monitor so he can monitor what's going on in here.
Well, I had the computer, but the delay is significant. Apparently what happened was the Bears had ran their last play, but apparently right before the snap, Matt Nagy had called timeout, but the officials didn't see it right away. So they ran the play, and everybody thought the game was over, but then the officials came back out and said that the Bears did use their final timeout, which helped set up the Eddy Pineiro field goal. So Bears win. My apologies on that one. They win 16-14, get their first one of the season, 3 field goals, and Eddy Pineiro has quite the leg.
Hey, he has 53 yards, Eddy Pineiro, and we told you in the opening of this broadcast, the Bears Sunday Live broadcast here at WCPT 820 AM, that pregame kicks for Eddy Pineiro at Mile High Stadium, averaging 61 to 63 yards, both ways, both ends. Eddy Pineiro, who was our guest on our meet and greet this past Tuesday at Ciaranello's Restaurante Italiano, told me in preparation for this Denver Bronco game that he was advised just to kick the ball. Because of the thin air, the ball's going to travel. Just kick it like you normally do. And Eddy Pineiro, God bless him, Marty-B, the man on the street, the Bears get their first victory, 16-14, and despite Matt Nagy and his play calling and the gas defense of the Chicago Bears, they were able to prevail, hang in there, and get a much-needed victory. If you want to call us, our number here is 773-763-9278, 773-763-WCPT, Chicago Bears with the victory. Gentlemen, anyone want to join in?
Yeah, well, I'll tell
Jump
you.
in?
Here's the thing. With 31 seconds left, this is where we sort of lost track. They got a touchback, and then they marched down the field. The big play was to Robinson. It was a long pass to Robinson that got him in position to kick the field goal from from Denver's territory at the 35. They got it down to the 35 and kicked the field goal. So the big pass was to Robinson. It was a wonderful drive, with no time left.
No, that's very, very good. What was the big play? Robinson, how long was it?
It was for 25 yards.
25 yards.
Yeah,
so Mitchell Trubisky actually came through.
9 seconds left, 25 yards to Robinson.
Wow, so he actually came through. So, I mean, congratulations to Mitchell Trubisky for being able to manage this offense in less than a 2-minute drill, actually, and to get the ball downfield in order for Eddy Pineiro to kick that 53-yarder winning touchdown or field goal for the Chicago Bears. 16-14 winners over the Denver Broncos. And Vic Fangio, the Bears improved their mark to 1-1. Let's go to TRS60 hotline and get Kelly Lee Williams' reaction. Kelly Lee Williams!
Oh my God! I was yelling right after you put me on mute. Right when you went into I was like, "It's not over! It's not over! If something happened, it's not over." I was looking at him and I'm like, "Pineiro, man, we have a kicker. The Bears have a kicker." My God, what a game, man! If you're gonna learn mistakes, you better learn them in the win. Because if you learn them in a loss, you're going to get ripped up. Now he gets to learn them in a victory. The Bears are 1-1, and they are not out of the playoff race yet. And this is a good – and all of a sudden a bad day became a pretty good day.
Yeah.
Just watch the video of that last field goal. The look on Vic Fangio's face is priceless after that.
Describe the look on his face, Mago.
He looked like he was more confused than anything, as much as he was surprised. But the Bears were celebrating on the sideline, and Vic Fangio was looking around like, what the heck just happened?
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of us, I was wondering what was happening. Devin Tingle talking in my ear, giving me the update as far as what was transpiring. My computer was here, and I saw, like Marvelous said, there were 31 seconds left in the game, 16-13. The Broncos had tied everything up, and it was a matter of, what was going to happen down the stretch. Now, Mr. Trubisky, 16 completions on 27 attempts, 120 yards passing, no touchdowns. As far as the carries are concerned, David Montgomery, thank you, Mr. Nagy. 18 touches for the rookie running back, 62 yards, 1 touchdown. Cordero Patterson, he had the big run in that drive, and Cordero Patterson with 2 carries for 50 yards. Tariq Cohen, the Broncos had his number, 4 carries for 18 yards. Taylor Gabriel, 1 carry for 14 yards. As far as receiving is concerned, you said Allen Robinson with the big 25-yard reception on that final drive from Mitchell Trubisky, 4 receptions for 41 yards. Adam Shaheen, he got some playing time, and he had 3 receptions for 24 yards. And as far as the interceptions were concerned, defensively, Kyle Fuller with 1 INT, the big one that could have really changed the course of the football game as far as the Denver Broncos were concerned. But Joe Flacco overthrew his receiver. Kyle Fuller was right there with the pick, and that changed the scope of some things as well. As far as defensive efforts are concerned, Khalil Mack played a heck of a football game. There's no question about it. If he didn't get to Joe Flacco, he was breaking up screen passes. He was all over the place, wreaking havoc on the offensive line. They didn't know what to do with themselves as far as trying to stop Khalil Mack. But all in all, the Bears, despite the gas, despite the thin air, they come away with a 16-14 victory, their first victory of the season over the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, Trevathan had a big game, too. 10 tackles, 2 assists, and then Roquan Smith had 9 tackles and 4 assists.
The defense was really good. I mean, the defense was great right up until Joe Flacco got that last touchdown. And as we said, we knew that they were gassed. But hey, like we say, learning in the loss better than suffering in learning in the win better than suffering in the loss. They got the win. Now they have to get much better. They know what they got to do, and they better do it, or else they're going to get blown out by Green Bay and by Minnesota. And that would be a very bad thing for us, Jerry. We can't be blown out by those 2 teams.
Yeah,
we have to win these games. They got to happen. It's got to happen this year.
Well, the thing about it is you got to give, again, credit to Vic Fangio and his coaching staff for battling and keeping the Bears at bay as best as they possibly can. But this is a warning signal, a warning sign, in my opinion, for Coach Nagy, because keep in mind, Vic Fangio, 32 years in the National Football League coaching, this is his first head coaching position. There are going to be a lot of veteran coaches that Matt Nagy and his staff are going to meet up with throughout this regular season. And if he think he struggled at Mile High Stadium with this team, he's got his work cut out for him for sure. But one thing I want him to do, guys, the one thing I certainly want Matt Nagy to do is start to have confidence in this kid, Eddy Pineiro. Start to have confidence in the kid. He has confidence in himself. He knows what he's capable of doing. He can kick the heck out of football. Give him the opportunity to do it. Give him the opportunity to do it. He's proven to you right now in 2 games that he's capable of not only keeping you in the game, but gosh darn, he's capable of winning you a football game. Let this man kick the football and get back to coaching this football team.
Hey, teams lead the score right now. Eddy Pineiro, teams lead the score at 12 points. And also the Bears have to they have to trust that running game. If they trust that running game, this game is over. If they run Montgomery, if they run Cordero Patterson, this game is over. Matt Nagy went full Matt Nagy and let Mitchell Trubisky pass it twice on that last Bears drive. That is what has to change. And I believe if he does that, the Bears can win games, and they can win them rather easily with the defense holding it down. They just got to give them time to rest, and the offense has to pick it up.
Yeah.
But, hey, go Bears Bear down, Chicago Bears. Guys, I love you guys. Man, I got to go do my Las Vegas thing. Y'all better bring y'all butts out here. We got a party when y'all do it, and y'all got to come to the Catch Meow, where I am the number one DJ, baby. Thanks to Jerry Riles. Yes, meow, baby. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, guys. Love you, baby.
Hey,
Kelly
thanks for
Lee
calling
Williams!
in, Kelly.
He's the best, ladies and gentlemen. Our own Kelly Lee Williams out there on the left coast, where at Las Vegas, you heard him, the Kitty Cat Lounge, or what do you call it?
Catch Meow.
But the Bears win it by a score of 16-14 to get their first victory, an impressive victory, and to break that winning streak by the Denver Broncos in the month of September as far as games the opponents play in Mile High Stadium. Gale Street Inn, Chicago, located in Jefferson Park on the city's north side, a casual dining spot with a pub vibe, serving up craft brews, signature ribs, and other American fare since 1963. Head on over to Gale Street Inn every Saturday and Sunday for lunch. Enjoy a juicy burger or try one of their delicious Bloody Marys. Need a place to watch the big game on Monday nights? Come on out for Gale Street's Monday Night Rib Special. Enjoy a whole rack of ribs of their mouth-watering baby back ribs for only $22 with the purchase of any beverage. Party at your place? Well, let Gale Street Inn bring the food. Visit their catering menu at galestreet.com. Gale Street Inn, Chicago, located at 4914 North Milwaukee Avenue in Jefferson Park. They're open every day till 10 p.m., 9 p.m. on Sundays. They're closed on Tuesdays. Give George and his team a call at 773-725-1300. And, of course, you want to tell them the Rewind Sports 60 sent you. Chicago Bear victory, ladies and gentlemen, 16-14 over the Broncos. If you want to join in, just like Kelly Lee Williams did, our number here is 773-763-9278, 773-763-WCPT. Gentlemen?
Jerry, I just want to, in reference to the marvelous advertisement that you gave for the Gale Street Inn, which is one of my favorite places on the planet, when they specify $22 with any beverage, that means any beverage, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't need to be a beer or a highball or whatever, or a glass of wine. A cup of coffee gets you in the running for that $22 special. A cup of coffee, or in my case, several glasses of iced tea.
There you go, Marty-B. The ribs are mouth-watering, and they're
are they ever. When you pick up that rib, you better eat it quick, because it's going to fall off that bone.
Oh, it certainly is. And George and those guys, his entire staff, they're fantastic. And, if it's always good. You go on over there. Maybe you can have the ribs in the bar area. You can watch a game, a Bear victory. But the bartenders over there are fabulous as well. They have great conversation for you, great entertainment, great vibes. It's just a fabulous place. A neighborhood joint. Been around since 1963, right here in Jefferson Park, Chicago's very own.
Oh, absolutely. I can't imagine a better setting. Next Monday night, I know where I'm going to be. I'll probably get a double order of ribs and watch that Redskin game, of which the Bears are going to go 2-1 after next Monday night.
Go Bears! Go Bears! They have gone. If you want to call us, give us a ring, 773-763-WCPT. Marvelous one?
Well, I'm still recovering. From what I saw today, 16 as Gabe said, they scored 47 runs this weekend, and I'm dizzy.
Oh yeah, The Cubs, unbelievable.
And Rizzo getting hurt. Happ replaced him, hit a homer. Bryant had two. Schwarber hit a homer, and they put LaCroix at first base at the end of the game. He hit a homer.
Oh really?
Yeah. They're trying him out.
The balls are flying out.
I think they're going to need a replacement at first base.
Hey, you don't think Major League Baseball gave the Cubs some special baseballs and say, "Hey, we want you in the running.
I don't know.
We need a major market team."
I'll tell you, it's still going to be hard. They're a game ahead of Milwaukee for the final wild card. Two behind St. Louis. Milwaukee doesn't play above a 500 team the rest of the way now.
Wait, so did St. Louis win?
No.
They lost.
Milwaukee won at the end, yeah.
So Milwaukee won at the end. Yes. The Cubs are two games back in the division, and they're one game
ahead of Milwaukee and a game and a half behind Washington.
Okay.
Now, Washington starts playing St. Louis tomorrow, so I don't know who to root for. But
root for the Cubbies.
Yeah, root for the Cubbies. But the Cubs, those 7 games against St. Louis, you figure if they somehow can win 5 out of 7, that'd be great. But realistically, I don't think they're going to catch St. Louis. It's just because of the number of games they have to play against them.
Well, it's the number of games also, Marvelous, but it's the mass unit for the Cubs right now, with everybody going down.
They have to stay out of Milwaukee. It was an easy schedule. They play San Diego, then they play Cincinnati, Colorado, Pittsburgh. So even without their best player, Yelich, Milwaukee is going to be tough to stay ahead of.
And that's the thing. I think when they lost Christian Yelich, I think they said, Craig Counsell got those guys together, and they said, you know what? We're going to play this for our guy. Everyone thinks we're hanging our hat on Christian Yelich and his bat, which they were, But now they have to come together and say, hey, you know what? We're coming together as a team unit, and we're going to show people we can play some Major League Baseball. And if they can't win it, they're going to be some spoilers as much as they possibly can down the stretch.
Cubs have to sweep Cincinnati next, too. They have 3 night games in a row now.
Yeah, they have no time.
Yeah.
They've got to play baseball. The next 2 weeks, the Cubs have really got to show what they're made of.
They're going to rue that sweep that they took at the hands of Washington and losing and winning only 2 games against Milwaukee in the previous 2 weekends.
Right, of course.
2 out of 7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. It's not looking good for Joe Madden and his boys. And as we talked about the last 7 games against the Cardinals, and of course having to go down to St. Louis to close out the regular season, that's going to be must see riveting television.
Well, Milwaukee's playing Colorado.
Right. So I said it. Back in August, maybe even before that I didn't think that this Cub baseball team was going to make it to the playoffs, and it's looking to turn out that way. And it's interesting to hear Cub fans down the stretch, especially during the month of September, because it's like they've been bickering back and forth as far as who's making predictions about if they're going to make the playoffs, who's not going to make the playoffs, why they're not going to make the playoffs. Is Joe Madden coming back? Is it his fault? Is it Theo's fault? It's interesting to listen to Cub fans bicker back and forth, because this is how the tension has mounted for this team and for their fan base. Because it's marvelous. Joe Madden spoiled them. It's unusual for the Cub fans not to have a team going to the playoffs.
Yeah, it would be 5 years in a row.
It's unusual, and so now they really don't know what to do with themselves. Yeah. After more than 100 years of not winning, getting to a World Series and winning or anything, they have grown accustomed to making to the playoffs, and now that they're on the brink of elimination. They're losing their minds.
Milwaukee still has Braun. He hit the grand slammer in the 9th today to win it 7-6.
Yeah, they have a pretty good team. Yeah. They have a very good team. It's just the matter that they haven't pitched well. Yeah. The bullpen is suspect, but they do have some bats on that baseball team up there.
Of course, Hader got save number 33, so he's no slouch.
No, not at all. Those highlights for courtesy of Fox Sports. Fox 32 locally here in the Chicagoland area. And speaking of locally, real quick before we're out of here, it's the fastest hour in sports conversation. I want to say hello and welcome back home to one of my good dear friends and a very, very talented and just an awesome young lady. That, of course, Tamara Hall. Tamara Hall just debuted her talk show, 4 p.m. on the CW, Channel 26, The U. She just debuted this week. 4 o'clock p.m., and she's here in the city of Chicago, back home, where she belongs. I don't know if she's actually here. I think she tapes out of New York, but the show is back here in Chicago. So Tamara Hall, if you're listening, even if you're not, you can check us out on YouTube and Facebook Live, and, of course, go to our website, therewindsports60.com. I want to say thank you for all the great work you've done over the years and for your new journey and your new challenge. God bless you, and we welcome you back here in Chicago with open arms. She's everywhere. I'm driving down the Kennedy Expressway. They got a big billboard of Tamara Hall. I'm driving down Michigan Avenue near Grant Park. I see the bus in my rearview mirror. What? It's Tamara Hall. Her face looking at me.
It's like Marty-B.
Just like Marty-B, Marty. She's everywhere. Like Tamara Hall. She's the best. I love her. She is fantastic.
I just love her too, and the friendship that you two have established over the years, Jerry, is something very special.
You know what? We obviously lost contact over the years, because when she went out to New York and she did her her Today Show and all of that good MSNBC and all that stuff, you lose track of each other. But in her heyday here in the Chicagoland area, when she was at Fox 32, we had some good times together. So I hope to get an opportunity to see her and talk to her and reunite some old friendship and stories. But she's a doll. She's a darling, and she's awesome. And congratulations to her. She just recently got married and, of course, just recently had a baby. So,
wow.
Things are rolling for Tamara Hall.
They certainly
Good
are.
for her.
Well,
Good
I'm
for
going to carve out some time from my business day whenever I can and watch her show at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, and you know what? We also have to say with the Cubs and their big victory, putting up all those runs, and, of course, The Chicago Bears, again, if you haven't heard, they defeated the Denver Broncos and Vic Fangio by a final score of 16-14 to collect their first victory of the regular campaign, improving their mark to 1-1. And, of course, our man, Eddy Pineiro, with the game-winning 53-yarder to
He's
nail
the new
it.
El Mago.
He's the new El Mago?
Yeah, he's the new El Mago.
Yeah, he is. Well, I mean, it's only 2 games, Gabe. And I told him he was our guest at the meet and greet at Sierra Nelos this past Tuesday, and we got some more Bear players coming up in the month of October for our meet and greet. We'll keep you posted, that's for sure. But I told him, I said, hey, you know what? Kicking in Soldier Field in September, maybe October it's not bad. But when you start getting to November and December, that's when you really earn your keep. That's when you really earn your keep. And we had to say hello to the Chicago Blackhawks. And Gabe Salgado, you had an opportunity to take in the training camp festival over at the United Center earlier today for the Chicago Blackhawks 2019 team. Can you share a little bit of what the experience was like for our fans, our listening fans?
Well, they did a scrimmage. Of course, they divided the team in half. Red jerseys against white jerseys. Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews were on separate teams. It was mostly just the younger players involved. They did, a simulated 3-period game, but they did continuous clock, a little bit of rule changes here and there because it was just a scrimmage. But, it was good to see a lot of the young talent get out there because there's a lot of guys fighting for roster spots. Christopher Stieg scored a goal. It was nice to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Shaw and Jonathan Toews had a little playful shoving match on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe we have an audio cut of Andrew Shaw talking about that.
Yeah, here's Andrew Shaw roughhousing with Jonathan Toews, the team captain.
We always go at it. We went at it in the room after, Oh yeah, we're always on each other. Even when we're teammates, when we're playing against each other, it's a competitive edge.
Yeah, so that was fun to watch. But the biggest thing, and literally the biggest thing, my takeaway from this is the new Jumbotron at the United Center.
And here's Shaw on the new Jumbotron at the United Center.
Yeah, it looks huge. Obviously, they're going to have the underscreens, so it'll be great for us, so you're not looking straight up. I don't know what it looks like in the stands, but it's pretty cool.
You know what? I'm looking forward to getting over there. I heard your description during our pregame while we were watching the Bear game, but I'm interested to get over there to take a look at that big Jumbotron.
Yeah, I mean, definitely wear your glasses because that thing is not easy on the eyes once those LED lights get going. But the Blackhawks, they start the preseason tomorrow night. They take on the Washington Capitals. They come home Wednesday. I can't remember offhand who they play Wednesday, but next Saturday they play the Boston Bruins at the United Center in preseason action. 7 preseason games in all they'll have. You'll probably see a lot of the younger players during those first couple of games, and then as they start trimming down the roster, you'll see more of the top unit guys playing as they move forward here. So, but hockey season's back in Chicago, and fans are ready for it.
Yeah, we're ready for it for sure, and we want you all, our WCPT 820 AM sports family, to be a part of it and to follow every game. And Gabe Salgado will be out of many of the practices and covering a lot of the games throughout the regular season. So you'll certainly hear more from the Chicago Blackhawks through the Rewind Sports 60, heard right here on WCPT 820 AM. And again, the Bears with a big victory, 16-14 over the Broncos. Gentlemen, final words before we're out?
Can you imagine what we are going to have staring us in the face next Sunday on our show? Gosh, our pre-Washington Redskin conversation about that game, then gosh knows where the pennant race is going to be.
Oh my, it's going to, Chicago is going to be a buzz, that's for sure. It's going to be a buzz. And I hope that the Cubs can somehow, some way figure it out and extend their season into postseason play, Marvelous.
I'll be there at the final home game, and I hope it'll be a shorter game next Sunday.
Well, I just hope that for Cub fans and for the city of Chicago, success for our baseball team, and, of course, success for the football team. And who knows what will happen this season with the the Bulls, and, of course, the Blackhawks. But we're going to give you as much as we possibly can.
Don't forget about the White Sox. Unfortunately, they lost 11-10 today. But
Yeah.
Jerry, oftentimes, and we have a couple of minutes here, oftentimes, we're so excited about everything that is happening in our world, the sports, the politics, everything. sometimes we forget a little bit about our spiritual life. And I would just like to leave our audience with a little spiritual message as we commit to our spiritual journey. Keep several aspects in mind. Let's start with development. Develop a deep personal relationship with our Lord and Savior. Celebrate God's presence and grace through prayer, vibrant worship, and, of course, the sacraments. Build a welcoming, faith-filled community with a strong focus on fellowship and family. Attempt to foster peace, social justice, which is so important, and compassion for all. And finally, share our God-given gifts as we serve one another and take all of this good news out into our respective communities. Have a blessed week.
Thank you so much, Marty, the man on the street. God bless you, and thank you for those kind words. He's the man on the street, Marty-B, the marvelous one, Dan Marver. Ladies and gentlemen, it's another edition of the Rewind Sports 60. Yours truly, Jerry Riles. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Go Bears, 16-14 winners. Gabe Salgado with our TRS60 update. More details on the Bears' victory. Take it away. Good night, everybody.
TRS60 Sports Update.
A 53-yard field goal by Eddy Pineiro as the clock was winding down to 0 saves the Bears, gives them a 16-14 win over the Denver Broncos. They're 1-1 on the year, but rest assured that this team still has a lot to work on. Also, the White Sox were unable to hang on to that lead in Seattle. They lose in the bottom of the ninth inning, 11-10 to the Seattle Mariners. They had a 10-5 lead at one point. And again, of course, the Blackhawks getting ready to start the season. They had their festival at the United Center today, as we discussed in the previous segment. This update is sponsored by the Monster Education Foundation, and I'm Gabe Salgado for the Rewind Sports 60 and WCPT 820 Chicago.
The preceding program, the Rewind Sports 60, is sponsored by Jerry Riles and, to the extent applicable, his guests.